I hope everyone's been having a great holiday season and looking forward to tonight's Tuesdays with Tecla. We have a really what I thought was a great partial question, partial just topic that I got asked to discuss, and I thought that this was very timely. One of the rescues that I work with reached out to me and they wrote in, one of the main issues we have in rescue is that people don't seem to grasp that they need to give a dog time to decompress and that they need to establish a relationship with their dog prior to introducing the dog to 5 million other dogs and people and new places. They also give the dog every resource and all freedom immediately. It is one of the main issues we face with new homes, and was wondering if that could be a topic for one of your Facebook Lives. So I thought that this was really important because it affects rescues, but to be honest with you, it affects all puppies and dogs. So even if you brought a puppy home at 9 weeks old or so from a breeder, or you adopt a puppy from a rescue or a shelter, or you rescue an older dog, right? This affects all of those situations. And I think the first thing to remember is this: regardless of whether we're looking at a rescue situation or we're looking at a puppy that's been brought home from a breeder, it's a stressful thing. A puppy being brought home from the breeder has been taken away from its mother. It's been taken away from its litter mates that it's known, and all of a sudden it's alone with you. So that's stressful. A dog that's coming in from a rescue or shelter situation, that is stressful, because possibly in a shelter situation that dog didn't necessarily get to bond with anybody, and the entire situation is stressful. With some of the rescues, there are really good fosters out there, and that dog has maybe started to bond with that foster, but now is being uprooted from that and being placed in a home with you. So all of these things are stressful. And oftentimes, with regards to rescue situations, rescue and shelter situations, oftentimes those dogs, we don't know their history, but we can guess in certain situations that they didn't have the best start or they didn't have the best home life. So trust issues can be there. So needing time to decompress, figure you out, figure their new environment out is super important. And it doesn't happen overnight. I would be giving a dog a good few weeks before I really start to do much with them outside of my home. And then even in that situation, it's very low key things. And I would be building my relationship with that dog. I would be allowing that dog to learn how to relax. I would be allowing that dog time to learn how to understand my communication system with them. There's so much important with that. The other thing is about balancing the relationship correctly. There are important keys to that. If you've had an easy dog, great. But if you've had a dog that has some struggles, how we balance that relationship is super important. And leveraging resources the right way is huge. I'm not a militant trainer at all. I love to sleep with my dogs, but I guarantee you they do not sleep in bed with me until they're the dog I want them to be. It's that simple, right? So I have to understand, I have to have a good relationship with them where there's trust and there's mutual respect, and they hear me when I'm asking them to do things and they willingly do those things. And there are no issues with resources. And I know I don't have a resource guard, or I know that I don't have a dog that's reactive to dogs or people. But that dog is showing me, one, that he or she is comfortable in his skin, and also that he or she looks to me for direction and trusts me for direction. And that takes time to develop. So huge, right? And then when you finally do start going out and about with them, talking about socialization, it's not about your dog meeting or your puppy meeting 50 million people. It's really about your dog or your puppy learning to be neutral in those situations and relaxed in those situations. And we do this to give the dog or the puppy that you're with a chance to decompress in new environments, a chance to feel comfortable again in your leadership in those environments, in your relationship in those environments, and to a chance to build its impulse control. So these things take time. And going one more time back to resources, part of it, as I said, is about how we leverage these things to build relationship. But again, especially with rescue situations, we don't know always the history, right? We don't know if the household that dog or that puppy came from prior to being in rescue was fair about resources. You can have a dog that's a wonderful, wonderful dog, but if they were treated unfairly, they maybe have the wrong idea about resources and they guard them a little bit. And so you need time to teach them that everything good comes through you and from you, and that they don't need to be in competition with you, right? So again, this takes time, and there's a way to do this in that is fair, and that builds your dog's trust and willingness again to look to you and make it about him or her relating to you, and not about who owns what resources, right? So those things are super important. Your dog needs a chance, and you need a chance too, to understand them, to understand your obedience language, to understand fairness on the leash, to understand it's super important for them to have crate naps. If you're bringing a dog in from a situation that struggles with the crate, then we need to look to other options. But I would definitely at that point be reaching out to a professional that can help you navigate those waters. Because if a dog or a puppy struggles with taking a crate nap, there are potentially bigger issues there that need to be addressed, right? That should be their den and their happy place. And they should willingly take naps. So that's super important too. I'm hoping that this information is going to be helpful, and that as we go out and maybe over this holiday season, you decide to adopt a dog or a puppy or bring one home, please really be thinking about these things about, you're not mean if you give them time to decompress. Actually, that is the kindest thing you can do. You're not mean if you have them earn resources through looking to you, right? You're not mean if you reserve sofa time for letting them settle in the house for a month and getting a good feel for who they are, and then teaching them that if they wait calmly, you may invite them up. And again, I would only do that if there are no issues with resource guarding. So that month gives you a good chance to get to know your dog. Once they're that first month, first 4 weeks is really a honeymoon period. And then you'll start to see things, right? And then you'll know, oh, you know what, we have work to do on these things before I give, sofa time, or I allow my dog up in bed with me, or I allow them access to other resources without them looking to me and without them working with me. And you'll also start to understand too some of what motivates them. What things do they like to work for? What things what things can help if you have a dog that's anxious or fearful? What things can help you counter condition those concerns? So it's really a getting to know you period. And I'm hopefully you don't rush that. Right. Take care. Bye-bye.